Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Dan Cave and welcome to another video build series. Well, it'll be two parts, and this time it's the 1/20th scale Model Factory Hiro Ferrari 312 T4 from 1979 Monaco GP. Car itself, of course, from the 1979 season, driven by Jody Scheckter and Gilles Villeneuve, and Scheckter of course went on to win the World Championship that year in this particular 312 T4. So this is in two parts because this Model Factory Hiro kit is there's a lot of detail in there. There's a lot of parts. They need a lot of work because there's a lot of metal. There's a lot of photo etch, white metal, a few resin bits, injection molded stuff. Yeah, turned bits. It's huge amount of stuff in the kit, as you'll see as we progress. So this kit back in last year, the year before, a very good friend of mine donated it to me. It actually gave it to me as a gift, which I'm still completely blown away by and overwhelmed by. They know who they are, and I still appreciate that to this day. Finally got around to building it. Started early last year, took quite a while throughout the year, and I'm now finally around to actually editing all the video footage together and releasing it as a video series. So part one's done. Part one is going to be covered today, and that's going to cover things like the chassis, engine, gearbox, front suspension arms, rear suspension arms, kind of all the, say, almost the internals of the F1 car itself. And then part two will cover mainly the bodywork and then final assembly. So I've really enjoyed this. I really did. It's a challenge. Getting it to a standard that I was happy with is a challenge, and hopefully you'll see what I think of it as we progress through the build. So not going to hang around for too long. Let's head on over to the bench. Let's start the build, see how we get on. I'll come back at the end for my final thoughts on how part one went. So over we go. However, before we do, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like the video, feel free to leave a comment, get in touch, whatever. If you are a regular subscriber and regular viewer, thanks for watching as always. Enjoy this one, put your feet up, have a cuppa, enjoy part one. I'll be back at the end. See you soon. Testing. So there we go. This is the box. This is the hallowed MFH box. Once you get inside, you've got lots of parts. This is a hybrid kit with injection parts. But as of course for MFH, there is also a box of a box of white metal of some finely molded parts. Lots of photo etch. The injection molded parts actually look really good. The instructions are thorough, not that difficult to follow. They're actually quite good. But one of the most important steps, of course, with all this white metal is to make sure that all the parts are there, checking over everything. And once you're happy everything is there, you can start prepping some of those parts. So because of the complexity of white metal, I wanted to get all the kind of chassis, all the parts relatively straightened up and prepped. I was going to do the body work separately, and that's why part one will focus on getting all the kind of chassis, engine, running gear together. Starting to assemble some of those white metal parts. This is where filing comes in, and this is where white metal soldering comes in with low temp solder. Now, for this first batch of solder, the flux I was using was not very, very good at all. There was just almost no flow from the low temp solder. So I'm running a soldering station at about 135 degrees, which seems to work absolutely fine for this really low temp solder. But with the flux I was using at this stage, it did not flow very well. So plenty of cleanup needed on that part. And with all those other white metal parts, I'm using a etch primer. So I'm using a spray can of etch primer that's been decanted and thinned. It's a grey etch primer, so all the white metal parts will be primed in a grey paint first. That produces an extremely adherent layer that subsequent coats of things like super metallic 212 will stick to absolutely fine. So as odd as it seems, you're going from white metal to grey back to metallic colour, and the metallics do go over the grey very, very well. And then we've got things like SM204 as well. Super metallic super stainless, I think. Yeah, super stainless 2. So as you can see here, I'm now using a different flux, and this flux works absolutely perfectly. So I just get a little bit of solder on the tip of a soldering iron. It's 70-degree solder, so it melts with the 135-degree soldering iron absolutely fine. And you just brush in your flux, touch it to wherever you want it to flow, and it will flow along the join line and seal these parts together absolutely fine. So much happier now I've got proper flux for it. And you can see the rear bulkhead, working it from the inside because then there's less cleanup. And then this part which sits on the side. You can also run a little bit of solder along the join line. That saves trying to glue these metal parts together, because you have to use either CA glue or an epoxy or araldite or something similar. So I've done soldering in the past. I've done soldering with electronics before, but working with white metal was a little bit different. So old school techniques such as brush painting are still valid. So in this case, the gear lever. And for the smaller parts, they still, of course, will need some CA glue. And of course, if they're painted as well and painted in different shades, CA glue is still the go-to glue for putting those parts in place. Got some nice photo etch parts as well. They need a little bit of bending. I've got my handy bending tool. Clamp the parts in place using a Stanley blade. And that bends the edge of that part into place. Which will sit on absolutely perfectly, just like that. There's plenty of photo etch parts. Plenty of them get dropped as well. So the radiators have got white metal frames, and then the radiator elements are then photo etch parts which sit on the outside. And they will pop into place as seen here. Of course, there's some of the radiator piping as well. And that attaches back to some kind of reservoir, probably a coolant reservoir of some sort for the radiator system. Looking at some of the plastic parts as well, just making sure the fit, a bit of dry fitting. So this is one of the reasons to get all the chassis and engine and running gear together, and then get the bodywork on afterwards, because it gives me the opportunity to fix any alignment errors with the bodywork. They might not fit tight to the chassis components, so I might need to sand back. One of the problems with white metal is it's quite fragile. So here I'm repairing one of the lower suspension arms that I managed to break, and just using some white metal just to solder it back together again. And as in previous steps, these parts can be primed in the etch primer. A couple of coats of etch primer. And once that's fully cured, we can go back with whatever desired metallic color we want for those parts. And for the front suspension arms, just using some X18 semi-gloss black. And that is over the etch primer once again. So some very fine parts need to be added, which will be the pedals. And as you can see, there's a fire extinguisher been mounted as well. And then all of that sits on the underside and goes together as shown. Now, things like the suspension arms for the front, Again, there's a lot of small parts. There's the springs, there's the upper arms, there's various photo etch parts as well. And there is, of course, the challenge of getting all these parts aligned as well. And that's all, of course, whilst trying to not damage any of the existing paintwork. And trying not to break any parts like I did earlier. And then the front bulkhead gets added as well. And that's the remainder of the upper suspension arm as well. So some of the plastic parts that will have to be dealt with now is the brake ducts for the front brakes. And I am being chased by a fly while I'm sat here doing the overspeak on this. So plastic parts are primed in UMP black. And then given a coat of X18 from Recollection. And then there's a couple of screws to attach those wheel hubs and discs to the upper and lower arms. So a little bit more soldering required. And then some of the white metal parts that have been previously primed. Now going back for some coats of X18. The seat itself was primed in white. And then an area of the seat that remains white was then masked off and then oversprayed with black. Seatbelt material all included in the kit as well as the photo etch hardware for the harnesses. Very clear instructions on how these go together. And they get added to the seat with the seatbelt logos as well. A little bit of CA glue just to hold them in place, and they look absolutely fine. So it's now time to start making up the steering wheel. The last part you saw being soldered was the frame basically for the driver steering wheel to be mounted and the dash to be mounted to. Steering wheel pops in place and then attaches to that frame. So then it's onto the engine itself, and similar to the overall kind of chassis parts, the main parts of the engine get soldered together. This absolutely gorgeous flat 12, which powered this 312 T4. A little bit of holding parts in place, and just popping in a little bit of solder just to get it to flow into the various crevices. And again, etch primer decanted from a spray can, thinned with some MLT, and then sprayed onto those metallic components. And then we've got a nice titanium gold colour for the engine. So then there's a variety of parts, of course, to add to the engine. Battery pack sits on top. All the wiring gets added, distributor cap, fuel lines as well. All supplied in the kit. Again, absolutely fantastic amount of detail. We then have the intakes and the intake trumpets. There's the trumpets being added. And there's little mesh guards which will sit on top as well. And all of those get added onto this absolutely stunning little piece of an engine. And that's all screwed into the back of the chassis. And the gearbox itself was done simultaneously. That will have the rear suspension part and the drive shafts added as well. Also be the rear brakes as well. And that all gets aligned and sorted out. Exhaust headers. Again, a little bit of soldering work needed on them just to get them to stick together. And then they are primed and then painted in an acrylic white but lightly dusted on, give that kind of dusty white ceramic coating that these exhausts had. And then one of the trickiest parts of the entire build is getting the springs around these exhaust components. So I tended to find basically hooking through and using some wire to stretch it around. There has been plenty of scratching of the exhaust itself as well, but we do get there in the end. But that is an absolute nightmare of a job to do. On this one, I've actually attached it to the photo etch parts before I attached the exhausts themselves. But as you can see, they all do go on in the end anyway, and I think they look pretty good. So there we go, that is part one complete. So as you can see, that's been a huge amount of work just to get, you know, chassis, body, you know, monocoque chassis. Well, it's not monocoque, the actual main tub of the vehicle, engine, gearbox, suspension arms, you know, soldering in there, which I've not done for years. Never really done it on white metal. I've done soldering for electronics. So low temp solder was a new learning curve for me. Again, you know, thoroughly enjoyed the challenge of going through this kit. It came with its frustrations, you know, getting them exhausts attached. You know, I cut down the footage because, to be honest, so much of it ended up off screen. So much would have ended up with swearing if there was audio as well. But nonetheless, I'm happy with what's been done so far. And you'll see in part two how it next moves on and where it gets to at its conclusion. So thank you for watching. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments bit down below. You know, if you are a returning viewer, thank you for your support over the last few years. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this build. So that's it for part one of this 312 T4 from Model Factory Hiro 1/20th scale. I'll see you in part two. So bye bye for now.